Have you ever wondered if something as simple as your bedroom could be quietly harming your health while you sleep? It's a little unsettling to think about, but many of us, especially those over 65, are unknowingly exposed to invisible radiation every night, coming from everyday devices right beside our beds. I've been there myself, struggling with restless nights and unexplained fatigue, not realizing that my bedroom was part of the problem. It's frustrating to feel like you're doing everything right but still waking up tired and foggy. The good news is that there are easy, practical steps you can take to protect yourself. No complicated tech or big lifestyle changes required. Just small shifts that make a huge difference in how you sleep and how your body recovers overnight. I'm not here to judge or overwhelm you. I want to share what I've learned in a simple, friendly way because you deserve to rest peacefully and wake up feeling renewed. In this video, I'll reveal 5 common bedroom devices that could be silently damaging your health and, more importantly, how to stop it tonight. These tips might surprise you. Things you never thought twice about could be affecting your brain, heart, and overall well-being more than you realize. You deserve better nights and brighter mornings. So, have you noticed anything unusual about your sleep lately? Share your experience below. I'd love to hear your story. If you are not subscribed, subscribe and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. Now, let's begin. 5 dangerous bedroom devices. 1. Digital alarm clocks. If you're like most people, there's a good chance you've relied on a trusty digital alarm clock for years. Maybe it's that familiar red or blue glow on your nightstand, blinking quietly as you drift off and gently waking you up in the morning. There's comfort in routine, and for so many of us, that little digital clock has become a quiet companion through countless nights and mornings. But have you ever stopped to wonder what's happening, just inches from your head, as you sleep? Let me paint you a picture, a snapshot from not so long ago. Evelyn, a retired schoolteacher in Oregon, was used to her routines. She had a cozy room, a bed that was soft and familiar, and right next to her, the ever-faithful digital alarm clock. For 5 years, though, sleep became something she chased rather than enjoyed. Every morning, she'd wake up feeling almost as tired as when she'd gone to bed. Some mornings, she'd have a dull headache, a sort of heavy fog behind her eyes that refused to lift no matter how much coffee she drank or how many vitamins she tried. Doctors shrugged and suggested sleeping pills, melatonin, meditation. Nothing seemed to help. It wasn't until Evelyn stumbled across an article on hidden dangers in the bedroom that she learned digital alarm clocks could be more than just a harmless convenience. She was shocked. How could something so small, so ordinary, possibly be hurting me? She thought. But when she read that these clocks emit a constant field of electromagnetic radiation, right next to where her head rests every night, a little alarm went off in her mind. It seemed far-fetched at first, almost silly. After all, digital clocks are everywhere, and nobody warned her about this when she bought it at the department store on sale all those years ago. But curiosity got the better of her. That night, she unplugged her digital clock, tucked it away in her closet, and replaced it with an old battery-powered analog clock she found in the garage. She didn't expect much. But what happened next truly surprised her. On the 4th night, she realized she hadn't woken up with a headache, not once. She felt sharper, less groggy, almost as if she'd been handed back a piece of her energy that she hadn't even realized was missing. Even her granddaughter noticed she seemed brighter and more cheerful at breakfast. Evelyn's experience isn't as rare as you might think, especially for people over 65. As we age, our body's ability to repair and regenerate during sleep starts to slow down. This is perfectly natural, but it also means we're more vulnerable to things that disrupt those restorative processes. Studies from the International Institute of Building Biology and Ecology have shown that digital alarm clocks, yes, even the simplest, most innocent-looking ones, emit electromagnetic frequencies, EMF, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. These invisible waves don't care whether you're awake or asleep. They're just there, quietly radiating energy into the space around them. For younger people, a little exposure here and there might not seem like much. But for seniors, the risk is higher. Dr. Samuel Wilson, a specialist in environmental medicine, explained it well. As we get older, our cellular repair mechanisms become less efficient. For adults over 65, this means your brain and body are up to 3 times more vulnerable to radiation damage compared to someone in their 20s or 30s. It's a sobering thought, isn't it? Especially when you consider how much of that exposure happens during sleep. When your body is supposed to be at its safest, it's most protected. There's a scientific explanation for all this, and it's not as complicated as it sounds. The electromagnetic field generated by a digital alarm clock can disrupt the production of melatonin, the hormone your brain uses to signal when it's time to sleep and when it's time to wake. Melatonin is crucial not just for falling asleep, but for allowing your brain to rest deeply, clear out toxins, and perform essential repairs. When EMF interferes with melatonin, sleep can become lighter, more easily disturbed, and less restorative. Over time, that can mean more than just tired mornings. It can lead to a weakened immune system, problems with memory and focus, and even a greater risk of certain chronic diseases. Maybe you've noticed something similar in your own life. Do you ever wake up feeling unrefreshed, even after a full night in bed? Do you struggle with headaches that have no clear cause, or find it harder to concentrate as the day wears on? It's easy to brush these things off as just getting older, but sometimes the answer is simpler and more fixable than we think. Of course, digital alarm clocks aren't evil. They were invented to make life easier, and for years they did just that. But technology moves fast, and sometimes the things we take for granted turn out to have side effects nobody talked about before. For people over 65, who deserve every bit of restorative sleep and every ounce of mental clarity, it's worth asking, is the convenience of a digital clock worth the risk to my health? The solution doesn't have to be drastic. Nobody's asking you to throw out all your favorite gadgets or live by candlelight. It starts with something as simple as swapping your digital alarm clock for a battery-powered analog one. These classic clocks use no electricity, emit no EMF, and let's be honest, there's something a little nostalgic and comforting about the gentle tick-tock and the old-fashioned ring. If you need a digital clock, for example, if you have vision issues and need a large, bright display, try moving it at least 6 feet away from your bed. The farther away, the weaker the field and the less likely it is to interfere with your sleep. For Evelyn, and so many others, making this one small change opened up a world of difference. "I had no idea it could matter so much," she told her daughter. "But it feels like a cloud has lifted. I feel like myself again." Imagine how different your days could be if you started each morning feeling refreshed, clear-headed, and ready for whatever comes your way. If you're not sure about giving up your digital clock, remember, you don't have to do anything drastic right away. Try a little experiment. Unplug it for a few nights and see how you feel. You might notice changes you didn't expect. Maybe you sleep more deeply or wake up with fewer aches and pains. Maybe your mind feels a little clearer, or you have more energy to get out and enjoy the things you love. It's the small decisions that add up over time. When we reach a certain age, every night's rest becomes more precious. Our bodies need that time to repair, recharge, and keep us healthy. Why let a tiny humming clock take that away? Especially when the fix is so simple. Your well-being is worth more than convenience. So tonight, before you climb into bed, take a look at your nightstand. Is your digital alarm clock blinking there, as close to your head as your pillow? Maybe it's time for a gentle change, a return to something simpler, quieter, and safer. You might be surprised at how much better you feel. After all, sleep isn't just about rest, it's about renewal. And you deserve to wake up to brighter mornings, every single day. And if you're already using a battery-powered analog clock, or you've made this change and noticed a difference, share your story. You never know who might need to hear it. Sometimes the simplest changes have the most profound impact, and your experience might inspire someone else to reclaim their good nights. In the end, we're all learning together how to live better, sleep deeper, and treasure every new day we're given. 2. Wireless routers and Wi-Fi devices. If you take a moment to look around your bedroom, you might spot a little black box glowing in the corner or sitting quietly on a dresser, a wireless router, perhaps with blinking lights that pulse like a tiny heartbeat through the night. Or maybe your nightstand holds a tablet or smartphone, always ready, always connected. For most of us, Wi-Fi has become as familiar as electricity or running water, woven into the fabric of our daily lives. It's easy to forget that just a couple of decades ago, getting online was a rare, almost magical event. Now, it's a basic utility, as expected as the morning newspaper. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. But what if this modern convenience, so essential and so ordinary, was quietly putting your health at risk every single night? It's not something we like to think about, and honestly, I used to scoff at the idea myself. How could something invisible, even helpful, be bad for me? I thought. Yet, like so many things we can't see or touch, the effects of wireless radiation are often felt in ways we don't immediately connect. Let me tell you about Stanley, a retired engineer from Michigan. Stanley prided himself on staying up to date with technology. Even after leaving his job, he loved tinkering with gadgets and sharing tech tips with his grandkids. For years, his Wi-Fi router sat on his bedroom dresser, just 8 feet from his pillow. It was just convenient, he shrugged. I liked having strong Wi-Fi everywhere in the house. At first, he didn't think much of it. But then, little things started to change. He would wake up feeling groggy and foggy-headed, sometimes with a dull ache behind his eyes. His memory, once razor-sharp, began to slip. Sometimes he'd walk into a room and forget why he was there. His family started to notice, too. He became more irritable and more forgetful. His daughter worried when he began to lose track of conversations or struggled to recall names and dates. Stanley's cardiologist, a thoughtful man always keeping up with the latest research, mentioned that more studies were pointing to the possible effects of wireless radiation, especially on older adults. The blood-brain barrier naturally gets weaker as we age, the doctor explained, and Wi-Fi routers constantly emit pulsed radio frequency radiation. Over time, for seniors, this can potentially disrupt cognitive function, memory, and even heart rhythm. It sounded far-fetched to Stanley. After all, he'd spent a lifetime surrounded by technology. But the changes in his mind and body were undeniable, and his daughter's gentle insistence eventually wore him down. They tried an experiment. The Wi-Fi router was moved from the bedroom to the home office downstairs, as far from Stanley's nightly resting place as possible. At first, he worried about slow internet or dropped connections, but in reality, his house was small enough that everything still worked fine. And that's when the unexpected happened. Within 3 weeks, Stanley's heart rhythm stabilized. The episodes of confusion and forgetfulness became less frequent. Even his wife remarked, with quiet relief, that he seemed more himself again. His doctor ran a few tests and found that Stanley's cognitive scores had improved by nearly 30%. The difference, as Stanley put it, felt like someone had finally opened the blinds and let the sunlight in. It might sound dramatic, but Stanley's story is echoed by many older adults, perhaps even by you or someone you know. So, what's happening? Why would a wireless router, humming quietly in the corner, have such a profound effect, especially for seniors? To understand, it helps to know a bit about the body's natural defenses. The blood-brain barrier is a kind of shield, protecting your brain from toxins and harmful substances that might circulate in your blood. As we get older, this barrier naturally becomes a little more permeable, meaning it doesn't protect the brain as well as it once did. Wi-Fi routers and other wireless devices emit radio frequency radiation, energy that passes through walls, furniture, and, yes, even our bodies. Research from places like UCLA Medical Center has shown that constant exposure to this type of radiation can weaken the blood-brain barrier even further, allowing substances to pass through that normally wouldn't. The result? Greater vulnerability to toxins, disrupted sleep, trouble focusing, and over time, real harm to your cognitive health. Of course, it's not just about the brain. Some people notice heart palpitations, irregular rhythms, or an odd, fluttering feeling in their chest at night. Others experience sleep disturbances, waking up feeling exhausted, even after what should have been a full night's rest. You might chalk these up to aging, stress, or other health issues, but sometimes the answer is as close as that little router on your nightstand or dresser. The most insidious part of all this is that wireless radiation is completely invisible and silent. You can't smell it, taste it, or see it. If you're like most people, you probably never gave it a second thought. The idea that something so ordinary could quietly undermine your health feels almost unfair. But the good news is, the solution is surprisingly simple, and you don't have to give up your internet or disconnect from the modern world. The first step is awareness. If your Wi-Fi router is in or near your bedroom, consider moving it as far away as possible. Ideally, place it on another floor or at the opposite end of your home. The farther away it is from your sleeping area, the less exposure your body and brain receive during those precious hours of rest and repair. Even a distance of 10 or 15 feet can make a noticeable difference. If you're worried about losing connection, you can always check your devices and see what works best for you. Most homes will still have solid coverage. For an added layer of protection, consider putting your Wi-Fi on a timer. You don't need internet while you're sleeping, so why flood your bedroom with radiation all night long? Timers are inexpensive and easy to use. Just set your router to turn off at bedtime and back on in the morning. Many people are surprised to discover that they wake up feeling more refreshed, less foggy, and with fewer headaches or strange sensations in the night. For those who want to go even further, switching to wired internet, using Ethernet cables, means you can enjoy fast, reliable connections without the constant exposure to wireless frequencies. Yes, it might sound a bit old-fashioned, but it's a smart move, especially if you spend a lot of time in your bedroom reading or working on a device. Many older adults find that this change brings a sense of security and peace of mind they didn't even realize was missing. The goal isn't to scare you or to make you feel guilty about your technology. We all love the convenience of modern life. After all, it connects us with friends, family, and the world. But your health and well-being come first, especially now. You deserve restful, rejuvenating sleep. You deserve mornings where your mind is clear, your heart is steady, and you feel strong and ready for the day. If you've never thought about your Wi-Fi router before, you're not alone. But tonight, before you go to bed, take a look around your room. Is there a router glowing quietly near your head? A tablet or phone pulsing with wireless signals beside your pillow? Maybe it's time for a gentle change. Move that router, set a timer, or switch to a wired connection. Try it for a few weeks. See how you feel. Sometimes, the smallest changes make the biggest difference. And if you've already made these changes and noticed a difference in your sleep, memory, or mood, consider sharing your story. There are so many others, just like Stanley, who need a little encouragement and a friendly nudge to try something new. Together, we can build bedrooms that are truly sanctuaries for rest, healing, and peace. A place where your body and mind can do what they do best: recover, repair, and prepare for another beautiful day. You've embraced so many changes in life, big and small. This one is easy, and it just might give you back something you've been missing for years: a better night's sleep, a clearer mind, and a heart that beats a little steadier. That's a gift you truly deserve. 3. Plug in air fresheners and ionizers. If you're like many people, you probably love stepping into a bedroom that smells fresh and clean. There's something deeply comforting about a gentle floral scent, the hint of lavender, or the crisp, sweet note of clean linen in the air. For decades, air fresheners, especially the plug-in kind, have been marketed as a quick and easy way to transform a room, covering up mustiness or simply adding a touch of pleasant fragrance. Maybe you've even had a favorite brand for years, faithfully plugging in a fresh cartridge each month, enjoying the peace of mind that comes with a space that always smells inviting. But what if this very comfort, this effort to create a soothing sanctuary, was quietly harming your health, especially as you get older? It's not an easy truth to accept. Most of us don't think twice about using products sold in every store, recommended on television, or found in nearly every home. The packaging promises pure, fresh, and clean. Nowhere does it warn of danger, let alone something as serious as hidden radiation or invisible chemical exposure. Let's pause for a moment and think about Virginia, a 77-year-old widow from Florida. Her house always smelled wonderful, and she was proud of it. She had plug-in air fresheners in every room, including right beside her bed. The gentle, artificial breeze became part of her evening routine. Each night, as she lay down to sleep, she would catch a whiff of gardenia or vanilla and sigh, feeling that familiar sense of comfort and home. But after several months, Virginia noticed something strange. She developed a persistent cough, a dry, hacking little sound that wouldn't go away. Some nights, her breathing felt tight, and she sometimes woke up feeling as if she hadn't taken a proper breath all night. Doctors ran tests, prescribed inhalers, and suggested maybe it was just age or allergies. Nothing seemed to help. It wasn't until her daughter, visiting from out of town, noticed the army of plug-in devices glowing around the house that anyone thought to question them. "Mom, let's just try unplugging these for a week while I'm here," her daughter suggested. Virginia was skeptical, even a bit resistant. "They make me happy," she argued. But she agreed, if only to humor her daughter. The results were almost immediate. By the third night, Virginia's cough was gone. She breathed easier, slept more soundly, and awoke feeling less heavy in her chest. When her daughter left, Virginia switched to natural alternatives: sachets of dried lavender, bowls of baking soda, and a few drops of essential oil on a cotton ball placed far from the bed. The cough never returned. Virginia's story is more common than you might imagine, especially among older adults. What so many of us don't realize is that plug-in air fresheners and ionizers are not as harmless as they seem, especially at night, and especially for people over 65. These devices are plugged into the wall all night long, just a few feet from where your head rests. And while they might look innocent, the science behind them tells a very different story. Plug-in air fresheners and ionizers work by heating or electrically charging a chemical cartridge, which then disperses scented molecules into the air. Unfortunately, the process creates more than just fragrance. Each device emits a low but constant electromagnetic field. Yes, a type of radiation, simply by being plugged in. For seniors, whose bodies are already more vulnerable to environmental stress, this exposure can have significant effects over time. But that's only half the problem. Along with the electromagnetic field, plug-in air fresheners and ionizers release a cocktail of volatile organic compounds, VOCs. Chemicals like formaldehyde, benzene, phthalates, and synthetic fragrances. These chemicals are released into the air you breathe deeply while you sleep. Sleep is when your breathing is slow and steady, and your body is supposed to be healing and restoring itself. Pulmonologists at Johns Hopkins University have studied the effects of these combined exposures. Their research shows that adults over 65 who use electric air fresheners in their bedrooms at night can see up to a 23% reduction in lung function after just 30 days of nightly exposure. The effects become more severe the longer the exposure continues. Dr. Robert Chen, a pulmonary specialist, puts it plainly: the combination of electromagnetic fields and inhaled chemicals creates a double risk, especially for seniors. You may not feel it right away, but over time, the impact on your respiratory system can be profound. Persistent cough, asthma-like symptoms, even chronic breathing difficulties. You might be thinking, but I've used these for years, and I feel fine. It's easy to dismiss slow, creeping symptoms as just getting older. A little breathlessness here, a nagging cough there, waking up tired or with a sore throat, these are so easy to ignore. But imagine how much better you could feel, how much easier your nights might become, if you simply removed this one hidden threat. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. The good news is, the solution is remarkably gentle and easy. You don't have to give up a pleasant-smelling bedroom. There are natural, effective alternatives that won't fill your room with radiation or chemicals. Many seniors have found success by placing small bowls of baking soda around their bedrooms to absorb odors. Cotton balls with a drop or two of natural essential oil, lavender, eucalyptus, or cedar, placed away from your pillow, can provide a subtle, relaxing scent without the risks. Sachets filled with dried herbs or flowers can be tucked into drawers or hung in closets. Even simply airing out your room in the morning, opening a window for a few minutes, can work wonders for freshness. If you live in a place where mustiness is a problem, or you have trouble with pet or cooking odors, consider investing in an air purifier with a HEPA filter. These devices clean the air without emitting electromagnetic fields or harmful chemicals, helping your lungs and your immune system, not hurting them. It's natural to feel a little disappointed when you learn something familiar and comforting might not be good for you. There's no shame in having trusted the marketing or followed what everyone else was doing. What matters is your health and your peace of mind now. Small changes, even those that seem insignificant, can have enormous effects over time, especially as we age. Virginia, now well into her late 70s, sometimes laughs when she remembers how much she resisted her daughter's suggestion. "I never thought something that smelled so nice could make me sick," she admits. "But now I can breathe easy again, and I still have my lavender and cedar to keep me company." For her, the difference wasn't just physical, it was emotional, too. Knowing she'd made her bedroom a safer place helped her sleep with a new sense of calm and security. So tonight, before you turn in, take a look around your bedroom. Are there glowing plug-ins along the wall, humming quietly as you sleep? If so, consider giving yourself, and your lungs, a break. Try a few nights without them. Use a gentle, natural alternative. See how you feel. You might be surprised at how much your body thanks you, in ways both big and small. And if you've already made this change and noticed an improvement, share your story below. Others may need that little nudge of encouragement, or simply the comfort of knowing they're not alone in their journey to better health. After all, you deserve a bedroom that is truly a sanctuary, a place for rest, renewal, and easy, joyful breathing. Remember, it's never too late to create a safer, kinder space for yourself. Sometimes, the simplest choices are the most powerful gifts you can give to your future self. And you deserve to wake up each morning breathing deeply, surrounded by the peace and comfort you've worked so hard to create. 4. Charging smartphones and tablets. Think about how much has changed in just a single generation. Not that long ago, your bedroom nightstand might have held a lamp, a book, and maybe a glass of water. These days, though, chances are you've got at least one smartphone or tablet perched there as well. Maybe both, often plugged in and quietly humming as they charge overnight. It's a habit that's crept up on nearly all of us. After all, our phones have become our alarm clocks, our lifelines to family, and sometimes even the last thing we see before closing our eyes at night. But what if this small, convenient habit was quietly chipping away at your health, night after night? It sounds almost unbelievable. How could something so normal be harmful? You might wonder. I used to think the same thing. When my adult children insisted that I shouldn't charge my phone beside my bed, I rolled my eyes. "It's just a phone," I said, "and I want it close by, just in case." For years, it seemed harmless, a little blue glow in the dark, a reassuring vibration in the early morning. But the truth is, charging electronic devices in your bedroom, especially near your head, exposes you to a silent but powerful source of electromagnetic radiation. right when your body is most vulnerable and in need of deep, restorative sleep. Let's talk about Thomas, a 69-year-old retired college professor from Arizona. Like so many of us, Thomas used his smartphone as an alarm clock, calendar, and late-night reading device. He'd gotten used to charging it on his nightstand, just inches from his pillow. "It was convenient," he said. "I liked being able to check the time at a glance or set an alarm for the next morning." But over time, Thomas started to notice troubling changes. His sleep was getting lighter. He'd wake up multiple times during the night, and he began suffering from ringing in his ears, an odd, persistent hum that seemed to follow him throughout the day. Sometimes, he woke up with headaches or a strange sense of fatigue that no amount of coffee could shake. Like many seniors, Thomas first assumed it was just getting older. Maybe this is how the body winds down, he thought. But the symptoms persisted and even worsened. After several trips to the doctor, where no underlying cause could be found, a young physician asked about his sleep environment. "Do you keep any electronic devices near your bed? Do you charge your phone or tablet at night?" Thomas was surprised by the question. "Everyone does that," he replied. But the doctor gently explained that when smartphones and tablets are charging, they emit a much stronger electromagnetic field than when they're just powered on. The closer these devices are to your head, the more intense your exposure. Night after night, hour after hour. Research from the National Institute of Aging has shown that adults over 65 are particularly sensitive to electromagnetic fields, EMF, because the body's cellular repair mechanisms naturally slow with age. During deep sleep, your brain and organs are supposed to be hard at work restoring, clearing away toxins, and healing from the stresses of the day. When you sleep beside a charging device, you're placing yourself in a zone of concentrated radiation at precisely the time your cells are most vulnerable. This invisible interference can disrupt sleep cycles, hinder the body's natural healing, and, over time, lead to increased risks of headaches, memory problems, cardiovascular issues, and a general sense of fatigue that's hard to shake. Thomas was skeptical but desperate for relief, so he decided to try the doctor's advice. He set up a charging station in his kitchen, out of sight, out of mind. For the first time in years, he slept through the night. The ringing in his ears began to fade, and he found himself waking up more refreshed, his mind clearer and his body lighter. His sleep tracker showed that his deep sleep had improved by over 60%. "I never would have believed something so simple could make such a difference," Thomas said. "I thought I needed a new mattress, new pillows, supplements, but it was just my phone, sitting right there beside me." Maybe you've never noticed these subtle changes in yourself, or maybe you have and, like Thomas, chalked them up to age. But think about this. Have you ever woken up feeling just as tired as when you went to bed? Do you sometimes experience headaches, ringing in your ears, or brain fog that seems to settle in for no reason? These aren't always just signs of getting older. Sometimes, they're the result of environmental choices we didn't even realize we were making. The fix is gentle and easy. Tonight, before you go to bed, move your charging devices out of the bedroom entirely. Find a spot in the kitchen, a hallway, or even your home office to plug them in. If you absolutely must keep your phone nearby, for emergencies or peace of mind, switch it to airplane mode before you go to sleep and place it at least 6 feet away from your bed. Better yet, invest in a simple battery-powered alarm clock and rediscover the quiet pleasure of waking up to a gentle ring, free from screens and glowing lights. You might worry about missing an important call or not being able to check your messages the moment you wake up. But here's a gentle reminder. Emergencies are rare, and most things can wait until morning. Your body, on the other hand, needs deep, uninterrupted rest every single night. Give yourself the gift of a true sanctuary, a bedroom free from invisible interference, a place for your heart and mind to recover. If you're used to scrolling through your phone or tablet before bed, consider swapping the screen for a real book or a few minutes of gentle conversation with a loved one. The blue light from electronic devices can disrupt melatonin production and make it even harder to drift into a peaceful, restorative sleep. Remember, these changes aren't about fear or deprivation. They're about giving your body and mind the best chance to heal, grow, and greet each day with energy and clarity. As we age, we deserve every possible advantage in protecting our health, and sometimes the smallest shifts in routine are the most powerful. If you've already tried moving your devices and noticed a difference, share your story below. Someone else may need the encouragement or the reassurance that they're not alone. And if you're hesitant, that's okay too. Try it for a week or two. See how you feel. Sometimes, the best surprises in life come from the things we never thought would matter. In the end, your sleep is sacred. You deserve to rest in a space that truly supports your well-being. A bedroom where the only hum you hear is the quiet contentment of your own heart, beating peacefully through the night. So tonight, as you tuck in, give yourself that gift. Leave the phone in another room, and let your dreams take center stage. Your body and your spirit will thank you for it. 5. Electric blankets and heating pads. As the nights grow colder and winter's chill settles into the bones, there's nothing quite as comforting as slipping into a warm bed. For many of us, especially as we get older and our circulation isn't quite what it used to be, electric blankets and heating pads seem like a little miracle. They promise instant warmth at the press of a button, soothing away aches and making the nights feel just a little cozier. For those who remember drafty old houses or mornings with ice on the window panes, these electric comforts can feel like a gift. But have you ever wondered if this modern solution might come with a hidden cost to your health, especially for those of us over 65? It's not easy to accept. For years, I used my electric blanket every winter, sometimes even through the spring, not wanting to give up the gentle heat that seemed to help my sore joints. I told myself, everyone does this. It's safe, it's easy, and it helps me sleep. But as with so many things in life, sometimes what feels good at the moment can quietly undermine our well-being in ways we never expected. Dorothy, a 75-year-old retiree from Minnesota, knows this all too well. Minnesota winters are famously harsh, and Dorothy's electric blanket was as much a part of her nightly routine as brushing her teeth. She loved the way it wrapped warmth around her whole body and soothed the aches in her knees and shoulders. But after a few seasons, she began to notice troubling changes. At first, it was just restless sleep, a night or two of tossing and turning. Then came the heart palpitations, those strange, fluttery beats that made her feel anxious and unsettled. Some mornings she woke with new joint pains, and even simple tasks felt heavy and exhausting. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 3 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Doctors ran tests, adjusted medications, and told her to watch her diet. Nothing seemed to help. It wasn't until her cardiologist, a thoughtful woman with a reputation for looking at the big picture, asked Dorothy to describe her bedtime routine that things started to make sense. When Dorothy mentioned her electric blanket, the doctor paused. "Let's try an experiment," she suggested. "Put the electric blanket away for a few weeks, and use layers, down comforters, wool blankets, even a hot water bottle for your feet. Let's see what happens." Dorothy was skeptical. "I didn't believe it would make a difference," she admitted. "But I was willing to try anything at that point." The results, she says, were nothing short of remarkable. Her sleep became deeper, the heart palpitations disappeared, and her joint pain eased up. A follow-up visit revealed that her inflammatory markers had dropped, and her heart rhythm was steadier than it had been in years. "It felt like I got a piece of myself back," Dorothy says, her voice full of quiet relief. How could something so ordinary, so beloved, cause so much trouble? The answer lies in the way electric blankets and heating pads work. Unlike most other devices, which might sit a few feet away, electric blankets wrap your entire body in a web of wires. These wires emit a constant electromagnetic field, EMF, for as long as the blanket is plugged in and switched on. Heating pads do the same, concentrating that field right against your skin, sometimes for hours at a time. For younger, healthier bodies, a little extra EMF exposure might not seem like a big deal. But as we age, our cells become less efficient at repairing themselves, and our nervous and immune systems are more sensitive to environmental stressors. EMF exposure at night can interfere with sleep cycles, increase inflammation, and even disrupt heart rhythms, especially when the source is so close and for so long. The science backs this up. Research at the Environmental Medicine Research Institute has shown that seniors who use electric blankets or heating pads regularly can see increases in inflammation markers by up to 35%. Prolonged exposure may contribute to disrupted sleep, aching joints, and even heart arrhythmias. When you're trying to heal or manage chronic pain, the last thing you need is something that undermines your body's natural recovery process while you sleep. It's easy to dismiss these warnings as alarmist or to believe that our modern comforts are perfectly safe because they're so common. But sometimes, it's the very things we take for granted that need a second look. No one wants to feel cold at night or give up the little luxuries that make life easier. But there are gentle, effective ways to stay warm and comfortable without risking your health. Start with layers. Down comforters, wool blankets, and flannel sheets can hold and heat beautifully without a single wire. If you need extra warmth, a hot water bottle at your feet is a time-honored tradition that's both safe and soothing. There are even microwavable rice or flaxseed bags that hold heat for a long time, perfect for pre-warming the bed or targeting an achy spot. Some people swear by cozy bed socks or layering pajamas. If your home is particularly drafty, check for places where a little weatherproofing or a draft stopper can help keep warmth in your bedroom. If you really can't imagine giving up your electric blanket entirely, at least use it to pre-warm your bed before you get in, then unplug it for the night. Never sleep with it running all night, and always keep the control unit away from your pillow or body. The same goes for heating pads. Use them in short bursts and never while you're falling asleep. The most important thing to remember is that your comfort and your health go hand in hand. You deserve restful, healing sleep and warm, cozy nights, without hidden risks lurking under your covers. Sometimes, making a small change can open the door to better mornings, more energy, and a heart that feels a little lighter. Dorothy still treasures her bedtime routine, but these days, it's all about soft layers and the gentle weight of a well-made comforter. She's learned that warmth isn't just about heat, it's about feeling safe, cared for, and able to greet each new day with a little more strength. Tonight, as you get ready for bed, take a look at what's keeping you warm. If it's an electric blanket or a heating pad, consider giving your body a break, even just for a few nights. Try out a new combination of blankets or a simple hot water bottle. See how you sleep, how you feel in the morning, and how your body responds. You may discover, like Dorothy, that sometimes the simplest solutions are the best. And if you found a cozy, wire-free routine that works for you, share your tips with others. Your experience might just help someone else reclaim their restful sleep, their steady heart, and their joyful mornings. After all, the gift of a good night's sleep is something we all deserve, no matter the weather outside. Sleep well, stay warm, and know that the best comforts in life don't always come from a plug. They come from caring for yourself with kindness, wisdom, and a touch of old-fashioned common sense. As we come to the end of this journey together, I want you to take a moment and truly think about your bedroom, the place where you spend so many hours resting, healing, and renewing yourself. It's easy to overlook the small things that quietly affect our health, especially when they're wrapped up in the comforts we trust. But now, armed with new knowledge, you have the power to make simple changes that can transform your nights and brighten your days. Remember Evelyn's relief when she swapped her digital clock, Stanley's renewed clarity after moving his Wi-Fi router, or Virginia's easier breathing without those plug-in fresheners. Dorothy's improved heart rhythm and restful sleep remind us all that even well-loved habits, like electric blankets, deserve a second look. These aren't just stories. They're reminders that it's never too late to protect yourself, to create a safer, healthier space where your body can truly rest. You deserve to wake up feeling refreshed, clear-headed, and ready to embrace the day. Your sleep sanctuary should be just that, a peaceful retreat, free from hidden dangers and filled with gentle care. Making these small adjustments might seem simple, but their impact can be profound. It's about giving your body the respect and protection it deserves, especially now, as you cherish every moment. So, what will you change tonight? Which step will you take toward better sleep and better health? I invite you to share your thoughts or experiences below. Your story could inspire someone else to take their first step. And if this video has helped open your eyes, please like, share, and subscribe so we can continue this journey together. Because you, above all, deserve to live well, rest deeply, and enjoy every beautiful morning.